Hey, what's going on, y'all? It's your boy KJ5 to the 2. You're listening to
Yo,
AMP
what
Radio.
they do?
SA.
Your boy Official, and I just came by to encourage my brother SA with AMP Radio and whoever is part of this.
Yo, what's good, fam? It's your boy DM, and you listening to SA from Death to Self Records on AMP Radio. Check it out.
I'm covered in the blood while he hung, cause he drifted wet. While he was in the garden.
What up? It's your boy Bishop Chase, man. You know, just wanted to leave a shout out to my man SA. Man, you doing big things, man. Keep repping Christ. You know, keep doing what you're doing. I love what you're doing with the show, man. Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Youngtown.
Girl LF.
Fresh name.
This is Kim Frank.
I just want to encourage y'all to be checking out AMP Radio, one of the hottest radio shows on the web right now, for your music to be played as well as other music to be played as well as your music and stuff like that. Hey, you listening to AMP Radio. You know what I mean? Just keep doing what you do, man. God moves. Alright, bro. One love.
Keep it locked right here.
What is going on, everybody? It's your boy SA, and we are checking in with another awesome episode of Amped Radio. This is your boy SA, like I said, and I just want to say we are celebrating our 10th episode. That's right, 10 episodes. Man, this is incredible. This is crazy, and I'm just so excited. Today we're talking about if you had one shot. That is your topic for today, guys. If you had one shot. We got some songs coming up. Seven Seal with The Resident, followed by Blaze Torch with Deliverance. And we got some more songs after we have our discussion. So stay tuned. You're in the mix with your boy SA right here on Amped Radio, episode number 10. Double digits, baby. We are here. Stay tuned. Check it out. Enjoy the music. And we'll get into our amazing, incredible topic right after this.
Yeah. You thought I was done. God's dagger. I'm just sharpening my blade for another battle. I am the last samurai. Yo, Ehud, let me borrow your dagger. Check it. Check the deck, the resident. Who's the president? Praise Elohim, we serve Christ the King. Check the deck, the resident. Who's the president? Praise Elohim, we serve Christ the King. Check the deck, the resident. Who's the president? Praise Elohim, we serve Christ the King. Check the deck, the resident. Who's the president? Praise Elohim, we serve Christ the King. And yo, the anointed run sticks to my blades, a train with the tip from Mount Sinai. Receive the revelations, woke from the dawn of the dead, where the bones have still been risen. Tested with the knife, the fourth right, battle light, the third light. Exposed spaces in the third eye, show him the Christ, soldier with the cause. My armors prep for the wartime, train with the privates, now I'm a general. Salute to the real ones, 7th Brigade remain tight. You couldn't even compass me, even if you had demons after me. I'm covered by the blood, New Age Satori, and my faith is real. Saturated by the illumination from the word of God. Release the secrets not even yet known to man. Prayers from the heavenlies, tap into the mysteries. Seek ye first the righteousness of God. Check the deck, the resident. Who's the president? Praise Elohim, we serve Christ the King. Check the deck, the resident. Who's the president? Praise Elohim, we serve Christ the King. Check the deck, the resident. Who's the president? Praise Elohim, we serve Christ the King. Check the deck, the resident. Who's the president? Praise Elohim, we serve Christ the King.
Turn it up.
This is not your ordinary radio.
What you got? Alright.
You're listening to AMP Radio.
Where the party
Brought
at?
to you by D2S Records. We got you in the mix.
I ain't doing this to entertain you. Coming for your soul, coming for your pain too. Deep-rooted things that you're buried in the ground that affect what you do even in your life now. down. Lies you believe, voices that you hear, veil over your eyes, demons always near. Whisper sweet nothings to corrupt you and deceive, constricting your life, even the air you breathe. Giving up your body cause you can't find love. Living paranoid, there's no one you trust. Smoking on the daily to bring your stress down. Living as a slave when you should wear a crown. Always hide behind a mask, what's your identity? Devil wanna rob you clean, yeah, he your enemy. Blinding you, keeping you in a matrix. Mountains in your life are waiting for you to face it. Don't you stay defeated, you got a champion side. Throw your stones and anxiety, finish off your pride. Say goodbye to depression, reject rejection. Ignore double-mindedness, it's confession. You were made to be whole, have peace in your soul. It's time to take back everything that he stole. Get your joy, get your strength and your breath. Begin again, just see what's next. I command your blind eyes are open as you listen. Jesus is the one to fill all the pieces missing. He will resurrect your dead man. Take your lame situation, get your legs a stand. If you really want this, you really gotta fight. Turn on the light switch, turn darkness into light. Make demons scatter like roaches in the hood. Freedom begins with Jesus on the wood. He's the only way to escape the pain you feel. Not sex, not Henny, not popping any pills. Earthly remedies and satisfied for the day. Once they leave you, you feel the same way. Don't you wanna change your side, you wanna scream. Sometimes you wake up and wish it was a dream. Truth of the matter is based off a decision. I know you're thinking you don't wanna be Christian. Probably think I'm trying to convert you to Christianity. Truth is Christians are dealing with the same insanity. I'm just giving you a way out of the mess. Most of you are tired, I wanna see you rest. In the arms of the one that love you the most. Let me introduce you to the Lord of hosts. He's my Abba, he's my Father, he's my everything. And if you let him in, I know he'll break every chain, every chain, every chain.
Every chain, every chain, every chain. That's right, that was my boy Blaze Torch with Deliverance. Prior to that was The Resident by Seven Seal. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy SA. We here for episode number 10. Yeah! Episode number 10, double digits. We are finally here. We finally arrived. And now that we've hit the double digits, we're just going to keep on going, guys. We'll just keep on going. So I don't know. I got a little extra pep inside of me. I know it's a little different because if you're watching this on the live stream, you know that today is not Thursday, but it is in fact Friday. So I was on a business trip since Tuesday, and I flew back, got home. It was about like almost midnight by the time I got back to my house, got all comfortable, and yeah. So quick shout out to my man. I'll talk about him in just a minute. But quick shout out to my man Denal, who is in the chat right now, giving a shout out saying you got your own radio show. Nice. Yeah, man. Got my own radio show, bro. We are live here on Facebook and on YouTube, and of course the replays are done on Spotify, iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, and Stitcher. So you can catch the replay on that. But yeah, we go live every Thursday, and today's the only exception due to scheduling conflicts. I had to move it to today. Also, a really quick note: today was supposed to be an interview. But we unfortunately had to move that due to circumstances that could not have been helped. So yeah, I know we've been promoting the interview all week on social media. If you've been following us on social media, you know we've been promoting the actual interview that was supposed to be today, but unfortunately it just could not happen, and therefore we're going to push it to some other time. So stay tuned for that, guys. I know you were expecting it, excited about it, but unfortunately, you know, things couldn't be helped. Yeah, so quick shout outs again to Denal. For those who don't know, first of all, yes, you know that I'm a rapper. Been rapping since 2004, and one of the first people that got me to come out and, you know, accept my role as a rapper, as a rap artist, was Denal, who is in the chat right now. He was my first ever producer. I remember the first song I've ever done with him was a song called Can't Get Up. Now, this is going way back. This is history, like way back history. So, yeah, my first song ever as SA was a song called Can't Get Up. And he's the producer on that song. He also was a producer when we started a band that never really got off the ground anywhere, Third Word. So just want to give a shout out to that. Denal's been, just a really good friend of mine. I've known him for quite a while. And, I've always had love and respect for the boy, for the man. The man. And just wanted to give a shout out to him because he recently underwent. And Denal, let me know if I'm crossing the line. Tell me if you don't want this story told, but I'm gonna tell you a story unless you say otherwise. He recently was in the New York City subway, and he came across. He had an altercation with this guy who was in the subway with him, and they got into an altercation. Guy pulls out a Swiss knife, stabs him, and what he does is he wrestles this dude to the ground. Holds him down, right? Keeps him in place until help arrived. And my man had to go to the hospital, get himself checked out, taken care of. But this dude was on the news, front cover of newspaper, the New York Times. And I mean, he's just in high spirits. The fact that he was able to, instead of running away from, let's just be real. If you get stabbed, your first instinct is self-preservation. So what you want to do is you want to run away as far as you can from the guy that attacked you, right? But nah, this dude my man Denal, he just wrestles this guy to the ground and holds him there, so he wouldn't attack anyone else. New York City subways are always full of people, so you know that if he attacked Denal, he would have attacked other people. Oh, my bad. Correction. It was the Daily News, not the New York Times. So it was the Daily News. So, so he holds him down and, help arrived and took care of the situation. So just want to give a shout out. I just found out about this. So that's why he's here in the chat. I just had to bring it up. So, Denal, man, I consider you a hero, bro. And, thank you for doing what you did. And, just pray for a speedy recovery, man. Just pray that you're doing well. Quite the experience, quite the life experience. But, so just a quick shout out to someone who's meant a lot to me over the years, who has had an impact on my music from the very beginning. And I just want to give him that special, 5-minute shout out? There you go. Good looking out, bro. Always, man. Always. So that's my man Denal. So there you go. All right. With that in mind, we had the interview. We have to move that. But today we're talking about if you had one shot. And so this here is going to motivate you. Like this show is about lifting up people who have an interest in doing music and or doing ministry. Sometimes they're not as exclusive. I see Polarity in the chat today. Polarity is just going along saying, yeah, great job. Glad that he's okay. And we got some more people checking us out. So just wanted to just say, yeah, got this going on. So the show is about anyone that's trying to get into that space. And this is, if you had one shot, is a call to action. For some of you who listen to rap know where that line came from. It's pretty easy to tell. If you've ever seen 8 Mile, the Eminem movie, right? That's like the starter line for the song Lose Yourself. I don't have a clip of that song here, but I don't really need it because you all know how it goes. If you had one shot and one opportunity to seize everything you ever wanted in one moment, would you capture it or just let it slip you? Yo, his palms are sweaty, knees weak, arms are heavy, there's vomit on the sweater already. Mom's spaghetti is nervous, but on the surface he's calm and ready to drop bombs. But he keep on forgetting what he wrote down. The whole crowd rose so loud, he opened his mouth, but the words won't come out. He's choking how everybody's joking now. The clock's run out, time's up, over, blow! So you know how it goes. What's up? Give a quick shout out right now to Ashley Butler. Thank you for checking us out. She just dropped a comment on the YouTube tip. Ashley, thank you for joining us today. So I just gave like the first verse of the Lose Yourself song, but when I saw that movie and when I heard that song for the first time, it really motivated me. Something incredible because however you feel about Eminem, whether you think he's an awesome lyricist or you think he's a bad influence on people, whatever your opinions are of him, you have to admit this dude knows how to inspire. And that song, Lose Yourself, inspired a generation of people who may not have believed in themselves, but through watching that movie, listening to that song, became inspired. A lot of rappers rose because of that movie. And if you're in ministry, this is something I want to say to challenge you is, sorry, 1 second here, is if you had one shot, would you take it? So your choice here, and I'm gonna get into an article that I've pulled up here for you in a minute, but before I do, I just wanted to expand on that a little bit more. Now, this is a continuous thing. This is something that you have a passion and a desire to do this, but you're just held back by your own limiting thoughts. I'm gonna bring up the Denal thing once more, because what's awesome about this is the fact that, you know, like I said, self-preservation is the first thing that you think of, right? If somebody attacks you, and sometimes it doesn't even need to get that far. Sometimes, you know, I mean, all you gotta do is, you know, get into an argument with someone, and if they're intimidating enough, you wanna run away. But imagine if someone literally stabs you, you know, knife through the flesh. Your instinct, your basic human instinct is to run away, is to protect yourself, self-preservation. Maybe you'll stay and fight, but majority of people, and maybe I'm just telling on myself here, you know, call me what you want, but majority of people would just run away. They would rather, you know, live to fight another day, basically. You know, somebody brings a gun, people scatter. Somebody brings a knife, people scatter. But you know, what does it say about someone who stays thinking of other people and holding the threat down, detaining the threat, right? Fight or flight is what Polarity says in the chat. So what does it take for you to make that decision to, instead of just think of yourself and run away, you decide to stay and detain the threat indefinitely? The reason why I bring that up is because that's the choice that we all have to make. The choice on whether you are going to take that shot, take that chance to, you know, do something that will scare the heck out of you. Because making that step towards greatness is something that is not within anyone's comfort zone. It is something that takes a lot of guts, a lot of courage, and with that comes a high potential of failure, right? There's a high potential of failure. Somebody stabs you and you stay to fight, there's a higher chance that you're gonna die versus if you decide to run away, right? But to make the chance, to make the decision to stay, to step outside of your comfort zone, that is something that is challenging, and something that is, you know, it has a high rate of failure. However, it also has the highest rate of success, because the rewards, the benefits of stepping outside of that comfort zone comes with an elevation of the success that you can achieve from it. Again, some more comments in the chat here. The amygdala kicks off in the limbic system. Yeah. Polarity says purpose, fight or flight purpose. Yeah. So, you know, something like that. You get stabbed. It's you know, it's a serious thing. But it's also serious when you are faced with the choice on choosing greatness, choosing to step into your purpose, or chickening out, running the other way because you're not comfortable in doing something different. So with that in mind, I have an article here that I want to read to you quickly, and I got some pictures to show for it. This is an article from developgoodhabits.com, and we're talking about the top 9 successful people who have failed in life. And there's tons of more people, but these are some 9 that are highlighted here. Many of these people you will obviously know, so let's just go over them really quick. Let's go ahead and just drop this for a moment. Whoa. All right. So looking at number 9, we have Thomas Edison. So these are people, like I said, that they have failed, but at the same time, through their failure, they decide not to give up, but instead step out of their comfort zone and step into that greatness. Okay? So with Thomas Edison, he is everybody knows him. He's an incredible inventor. But let me just read what is written about my man, Mr. Thomas Edison, right here. Says here, chances are that you've heard of Edison in relation to overcoming failure before. And if you look at the picture that I have here, obviously, if you're watching this on Spotify or iTunes, you can't see what's pulled up on the screen. But I'm just going to read it to you. There is a quote from Thomas Edison that says, "Many of life's failures are people who did not realize how close they were to success when they gave up." I need you to think about that. People who gave up. They didn't realize how close to success they were. So it says here, he was a master of trial and error. When asked about the many thousands of failures he had when trying to create the light bulb, he famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." That is crazy, right? So even his mindset, how he viewed things, was very different from most people. He didn't consider those many ways of failing. He didn't consider them as failures. He just considered them as ways that just didn't work. So he knew he was going to find a way that did. It says here, but there is even more to it than that. As a child, he was thought to be dumb and told that he would never be a success by many of his teachers because his mind would often wander in class. Good thing for us that the greatest inventor in history did not listen. Got some more comments here. Let me just read them off real quick. Let's see. SA, I'm deeply upset by this as a victim of a face slashing. I've had a large bout of PTSD when this attack happened, as he was with me when we were attacked and my face was slashed. Yeah. So that was a comment from Ace Carib. What's up, Ace Carib? Nice to hear from you, man. Thank you for tuning in. Yeah, I've heard about that incident. I've known you for several years as well, so I can understand how that must have made you feel, and I know that you and Denal are pretty close. So I understand that, man, and hope that you're hope that you're doing well coping with the situation. Polarity, yes, Ace Crib. Giving up is not an option, though. We can only build from this and try to be stronger. Amen, bro. Amen. Absolutely. And that separates people who will achieve their greatness versus those who will just only ever dream about it. They dream about achieving the greatness, but they never do because, they decide to accept the failures. Like what Thomas Edison here said, he didn't consider them failures. He just found 10,000 reasons why it didn't work. Next up on the list here is Elvis Presley. Says on his quote here, "When things go wrong, don't go with them." That's a pretty interesting way of looking at it because we look at it as two forks in a road. Which one are you going to take? The one less traveled or the one that is mostly traveled, the broad open road? Most people would rather go down that way instead of the narrow road, right? It says here, you don't need to be an Elvis fan to acknowledge the impact he's had on popular music. They don't dub someone the king of a form of music without a great amount of success. But even for Elvis, success came after failure. His first recordings went nowhere. After that, he tried to join a vocal quartet and was told he couldn't sing. The king of pop was told he couldn't sing. Finally, right before he became popular, he was told, "You ain't going nowhere, son. You ought to go back to driving a truck." That's incredible. Let's see. Number 3, we got Michael Jordan. So, I grew up a basketball fan. Not a basketball fan anymore, but during this era, I was definitely a basketball fan, and it was mostly for this man right here. Michael Jordan, it says, "It is hard to imagine, but the Jordan who is arguably the greatest basketball player ever was once cut from his high school team. As Jordan puts it, I have missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I have lost almost 300 games. On 26 occasions, I have been entrusted to take the game-winning shot, and I missed it. I have failed over and over and over again in my life, and that is why I succeed." Hear me out. He said, "I have failed over and over and over again in my life, and that is why I succeed." Most people think that failure is an indication that they should stop. But the truth of the matter is that failure is the reason why you should keep going. You just found a way that didn't work. keep going to find other ways that do work. Next up, I see there's more comments. I'll get to them in just a moment. So next up, we got Vincent van Gogh. And his quote here says, what would life be if we had no courage to attempt anything? And that's where we get into the whole fear factor of it. Are you going to stay in your comfort zone? Or are you going to take that stand? Are you going to step out of it to achieve your greatness? Again, what would life be if you had no courage to attempt anything? That's why we need to have that courage. So, it says here, Vincent van Gogh's paintings these days sell for an incredible amount of money. 4 of his paintings have sold for more than $100 million. Yet Van Gogh is a cautionary tale. In this life, he was a failure. He slowly began to build a reputation while he was alive, but he also had a ton of critics. He burned and destroyed many of his paintings out of frustration and was known to only sell 1 painting. He did not work to overcome his failure and killed himself. Soon after his death, his work began to garner intense critical and financial success. So let me ask you guys this. Yeah, like cutting off your ear. Let me ask you this. If Vincent van Gogh did not commit suicide, how far do you think he could have gone? At that time in his lifetime, he had only sold 1 painting after several years of frustration, burning his paintings, destroying his paintings. But if he had not, if he had not killed himself, how far could he have gone? Because it was only after he died that his paintings became a success. But what if people had noticed them sooner, before he passed? The potential is there, but yet his words are still impactful. If you don't have the courage to do anything, what will life be like? Where would you be? Probably exactly where you are right now. I'm not a big fan of this next one. I'm not a fan of scary movies or anything like that. But number 5 on this list is Stephen King. And it says here, King was working as a teacher in rural Maine when he wrote his first novel, Carrie. King had some small success selling short stories previously, but nothing that could create a career on it. King submitted Carrie 30 times. King was rejected 30 times. Before his 31st attempt, he threw the manuscript out. His wife rescued it from the round file and asked him to try one more time, and the rest is history. So if you are a fan of horror stories, if you are a fan of, that's not me, but if you are a fan, you know his story, like all of his successful movies. He was also someone that went through a ton of frustration, and it took that one last time, try number 31, to get there. Next on the list is Fred Astaire, and his quote says, "Do it big, do it right, and do it with style." So during his first screen test in RKO, an RKO executive noted that Astaire can't sing, can't act, balding, could dance a little. Man, talk about criticism, right? I mean, they're just straight up ripping him. You can't sing, you can't dance, you're getting bald, dude. If you're watching the live feed, you know that I'm not doing much better. And he could dance a little. Quite sad. But apparently he made a success. He made a success out of himself, and as his quotes indicates, if you're gonna do something, make sure you're doing it big, make sure you're doing it right, make sure you're doing it in style. Number 7 on the list is Abraham Lincoln. It says here, if Lincoln quit when the going got tough, the world might be a very different place. As a young man, Lincoln entered military service in the Black Hawk War as a captain, yet left as a private. With very little formal education, Lincoln taught himself and became a lawyer and congressman. His real rise to national prominence could also be viewed as a failure. In 1858, Lincoln tried for a seat in the Illinois Senate. This led to a series of hotly contested debates, the Lincoln-Douglas debates. Very infamous. Lincoln lost the Senate election, but really impressed a lot of the right people, even with his loss. 2 years later, he ran for president and won. Thankfully, he did not let lack of formal education, initial failure, or setbacks rattle him. So, would you consider Lincoln to be qualified, considering that he had a lineage, basically, of failures? He didn't have no formal education, and many people would consider that to be a disqualifier. But yet, despite those setbacks, he still went ahead and won. Because he impressed the right people, but he knew how to market himself and push himself into success. Next one on the list is J.K. Rowling. If you know her, I'm going to read it off real quick. Rowling is the perfect example that success can come to anyone at any time. She's now doing the backstroke through a pool of Harry Potter money, but that was not always the case. Before Harry Potter came a success, she was, I'm sorry, let me start that again. Before Harry Potter became a success, she was a divorced mother, living on welfare, going to school, and trying to write a novel in her spare time. Rowling herself said that she was the biggest failure I knew. And credits a lot of success to her failure. At a Harvard commencement speech, Rowling had this to say: Failure meant a stripping away of the inessential. I stopped pretending to myself that I was anything other than what I was, and began to direct all my energy to finishing the only work that mattered to me. Had I really succeeded at anything else, I might never have found the determination to succeed in the one area where I truly belonged. I was set free because my greatest fear had been realized, and I was still alive, and I still had a daughter whom I adored, and I had an old typewriter and a big idea. And so, rock bottom became a solid foundation on which I rebuilt my life. That's incredible. To feel like you have nothing, to criticize yourself saying that you are the worst. She said it about herself, that she was the worst, and yet she knew that she had a reason to fight. She had her daughter, and she had an idea, and she went with it. And now she's, like I said, swimming in a pool of, the residuals for the Harry Potter series. So that was her. Last on the list is Albert Einstein. Should come as no surprise. A lot of people consider him to be stupid during that time, This quote here says, anyone who has never made a mistake has never tried anything new. So in the article it says, if asked to name a genius, most people would come up with the name Albert Einstein. Yet even for Einstein, genius did not come easy. He had speech difficulty as a child and was once even thought to be mentally handicapped. As a teen, he rebelled against his school's reliance on route learning and failed. He tried to test the Zurich Polytechnic but failed again, although he did very well in the math and physics section, as you might expect. Einstein buckled down, received a requisite training, and applied to Zurich Polytechnic again, and of course was accepted. A few years later, he had a PhD and was recognized as a leading theorist. A few years after that, he had a Nobel Prize for Physics and began to be recognized as the genius of our modern era. So, the whole thing here is, don't doubt yourself. If you have a chance, if you got a shot, then you need to push forward. You need to move. All right, so we got some comments here. I'm just going to read them off real quick. Let's see what we got. We got Polarity. We got Denal. We got Ace Carib. Says here... Nikola Tesla is better than Thomas Edison. Cool. Free energy for everyone. Ace Carib says, I admit I had a difficult time with failure. However, when I refocused myself, I realized that some things were not meant for me and that I was destined for bigger and better things. Now that's really cool. That's really cool because, you think about it this way. Everything you try, you may realize that you're not meant for everything, but you are meant for something. And life is a journey of trying to figure out what that something is. And when you find that something, maybe for some people it's a few things, but for other people it could be just one thing. When you find that one thing or those some things, max it out, give it your all, fall in love with it, and success is pretty much guaranteed. You just gotta follow through. So it's really cool what Ace Carib said there. Let's see. Polarity. Einstein said something about that. Like cutting off your ear. Polarity, so sad. Ace Carib. It's a shame that people only appreciate people once they're dead. Yeah, like Van Gogh. When you think about Robin Williams, yeah, he was successful, but he was not happy, and maybe he feel like he failed and committed suicide. That's a good point. I know I'm definitely saddened by Robin Williams and his passing. I'm also saddened by by Chester from Linkin Park. People that from our eyes were seen as highly successful, but unfortunately they ended their lives. Now who knows what they were thinking? Maybe they considered themselves to be failures, despite their apparent success. So who knows? Larry, that's good. Do what matters. All right. So with that in mind, guys, we are getting close to wrapping up. Before we do, I just want to leave you off with this scripture here. And this scripture is found in Genesis chapter 32, verse 22 to 32. Now, I'm not going to read the whole thing, but one thing that I do want to bring up, if you have the time, go ahead and look this up. Genesis 32, verse 22 to 32. This is where Jacob is confronted by some translations consider it to be the angel of the Lord. Other translations says that it is God, the Spirit of God. And what happens here is that he's wrestling with God, and he recognizes who he's fighting against. Now, why wrestle God? Because he knew that God had a blessing for him, and he was not going to let go. He was not going to let go no matter what. So, the Spirit of God in verse 26 says, "Let me go, for it is daybreak." So they had been wrestling all throughout the night. Jacob would not let go. He just held on for dear life, and he would not let go. Jacob replied in 26, "I will not let go unless you bless me." 27, the man said, "What is your name?" "Jacob," he answered. 28, then the man said, "Your name will no longer be Jacob, but Israel, because you have struggled with God and with humans and have overcome." Jacob said, "Please tell me your name." But he replied, "Why do you ask my name?" Then he blessed him there. It goes on to say that, he blessed him, and he also touched Jacob on the side. So he changed his name. He blessed him, he changed his name. His name became Israel. Touched him in the side, and forevermore he was walking with a limp. So, we're wrapping up. I don't got too much time to get further into the scripture, but one thing I just want to pull out from this is when you reach out to your greatness, when you step out and you take your one shot, remember this: you'll be forever changed. You'll have incredible blessings from it, and you may have some war wounds. You may have some effects that, maybe it means that there's people in your life that you are cut off from. Maybe it means that there's there's going to be trials. There's going to be things that happen in your life that you're going to have to face with difficulties, challenges. So all that's going to happen, but you still benefit from your life being changed and you being blessed. Find your purpose, find that one shot, make sure you take it, do not delay. You need to know that you are great. You need to know that you are made with greatness and you are made with a purpose. So always remember that and never stop trying. So we are gonna wrap up. Thank you guys for chiming into the chat room here. And Ace Grib Joseph was another story about failure but found success. Hey guys, do me a favor and subscribe to us right here. And we are coming up with a couple songs. Glow by Tay Collier and Push Myself by Rhetoric. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I'll see y'all next week, Thursday, 8 o'clock p.m. Central. It's your boy S.A. Take care. God bless.
Who made your self-talk like this? I think my self-talk need a twist. Cause emotions been on cruise ship and I get seasick. So I don't need negative energy, you can keep it. Or seasick. I think the latter is better. Feel like the ladder is heavy. Trying to move up to new level, but sadness be keeping me leveled. I feel like I should know better. Joy can only settle if you let it. I'm a bit awkward. Scratch that hashtag, I'm a bit awesome. Help me to see me as you see me. I want that joy we see on TV. They make it look easy.
Strength and the joy of the Lord. Peace at the sound of his voice. Got you but praying for more. Got you but praying for more.
Help me so I won't just keep giving up on my energy to every issue life presented me. Help me be happy with you because you really friended me,
Don't need nobody else, just you. Wanna know joy for myself, it's true. I gotta be happy with you, yeah.
I need you and no one else.
Cause I can't depend on no one else. I gotta be happy with you, yeah.
I need you and no one else.
Cause I can't depend on no one else. No, no
told me that I am perfect. Perfect just the way I am. No need to put my trust in man, but that's what I did. Didn't understand how this would affect me, then follow his friend. I try to be happy, but I never can. I think I'll start over, gotta try again. Cause all the hurt from my past had me feeling like the love of God couldn't last. What he calls his treasure was once treated like trash. Was headed to destruction right into my life flash, right in front of my eyes. Like how many times did I cry? Looking at the sky, wondering, God, why did I allow self-hate to lead me to the wrong guys? Now I'm on my knees in God.
Change me, I no longer wanna be the same me. Change me, God. Change me, God.
Don't need nobody else, just you. Wanna know joy for myself, it's true. I gotta be happy with you, yeah.
I need you and no one else.
Cause I can't depend on no one else. I gotta be happy with you, yeah.
I need you and no one else.
Cause I can't depend on no one else. No one else.
Turn it up.
This is not your ordinary radio.
What you got? Alright.
You're listening to Ant Radio.
Where the party
Brought
at?
to you by D2S Records. We got you in the mix.
This mixtape should have been done about 6 months ago, but now I'm here to finish it. I just gotta keep pushing myself. I'ma do it.
I gotta push myself, I gotta push myself. The light at the tunnel is nearing, believe it or not, I can't get near it. So I gotta push myself, I gotta push myself. The sweat on my brow is steaming, I can't believe it, how close I am to this feeling.
I feel like I'm on a treadmill, won't stop never. Gotta sweat it all out just to get it together. With the strive, I feel like it'd be cancer. Gotta keep dancing to defeat this devil. I can never do it without God, and never without pride. But I love to see that smile in that young fan's eyes. And I close mine, thinking life's a fantasize. Remembering life with no music is a different time. Now it feels too difficult as I paint my lyrics to be viewed as a visual. Now this evidence is evident, I don't get it, but then again I never did. It's so clear that I'm heaven sent. It's my birthright to talk as I do, to craft my thoughts and views as I do. I've gotta stay alive, glad music's on my side. Probably wouldn't survive unless music's on my side.
I gotta push myself, I gotta push myself. The light at the tunnel is nearing, believe it or not, I can't get near it. So I gotta push myself, I gotta push myself. The sweat on my brow is steaming, I can't believe it, how close I am to this feeling.
This cloud that I'm up on feels like cloud 9, but when it rains I fall to the ground. It happens every time, it always happens so quick. Close my eyes, it's not fair. Fall down to realize the drive to get back up there. Once I'm there, I'm a different man. Different viewpoints, I got different plans. Day in and out, I feel the difference is positively brilliant. I do it all the same, given the choice to live again. But with music I can live again. No joke, I do nothing different. My vision is not twisted, it's a picture of me gifted. Living my life to the brightest, pushing myself to the highest level. Now it's bringing tears to my eyes to part you. I pour my heart and soul onto these piano strings. Now the song is ending, I bring my heart and soul as an offering to
I gotta push myself, I gotta push myself. The light at the tunnel is nearing, believe it or not, I can't get near it. So I gotta push myself, I gotta push myself. The sweat on my brow is steaming, I can't believe it, how close I am to this feeling.
Wow. This journey's over. 11 months later, 11 tracks later. and plenty more tracks that have been deleted and only remembered by the Time Machine on my MacBook Pro. It's been a lot of struggle and stress, but I just kept pushing myself.